Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing a full face of products that I cannot stop reaching for. I cannot stop repurchasing. They are my loyal buddies that just do great for my skin, for my makeup routine. And at the same time, I'm just gonna be doing the makeup routine that I've been going for over and over again lately. I haven't done one of these videos in such a long time. So I am so excited, and I am so excited to be doing just like a get ready with me, talk about makeup and talk about why I love these products. But before we get started on that, don't forget to like this video before you leave and subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you. And without further ado, let's chat about makeup products that I cannot stop using. Alright guys, let's get started. Let's start out by pulling the hair away from the face. I've already moisturized, so we're gonna start with primer. And this is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. So when I ran out of my Poreless Putty Primer, I decided to explore a little bit with other primers. And right now, e.l.f.'s killing it with all of their products. And this one I had been seeing a lot of on TikTok, so I decided to try it out for myself, and I've been loving it. I only used like a pump of it. It's like a gel consistency. The cool thing about this primer is the stickiness that it has to it. For me personally, in my opinion, it doesn't have a lot of pore blurring properties because obviously it's not a silicone based primer, but the grip that this primer has, I love when a product does what it says it's gonna do. It grips the makeup and it makes it last such a long time. It even says it in the instructions. It says to use the fingertips to apply and pat into the skin and allow it to set for 30 seconds to absorb and activate the grip prior to makeup application. So you're supposed to apply it. I would use it all over the face. One pump though is enough for me, and just let it get sticky. And from there, anything that you put on top of it is just gonna stay there. I know there's been popular primers like this one in the past, but I've just never really tried them. I think this is a dupe for a Milk product if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we've applied and we just let it sit for a little bit, but you don't have to wait that long. Honestly, it immediately feels very sticky to the touch. From there, we're gonna move on to the next product that I've been using over and over and over. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. Again, this is another dupe product. e.l.f. kills it with the dupes. This is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but at a fraction of the cost. Here's the price comparison. And I use this before foundation. However, I don't use it. I've seen some people use it by itself. I've seen some people use it all over the face. I only use it in the areas where I would normally highlight the face, like the top portion of my cheekbones and a little bit on the temples. Because my skin is normal to oily, I don't want to overdo it because I feel like it's gonna get greasy on me. So I only use it in that area, and it looks beautiful. It does have coverage to it, but it's not glittery. It's a glow. It's pure glow to the skin, and it ends up looking super, super beautiful. So I only use it like that and then just blend as usual. If I want to get ready faster, I'll just go with a little bit of foundation on top of this and blend everything together. For today's purposes, we're just gonna go one step at a time. As you can see, it's not giving any glitter to the skin. It's just giving glow and healthy. It's super beautiful, especially for the summer. You can wear a little bit more of this and a little bit less foundation. Kind of tweak your routine like that, and it's gonna be super glowy. The way I prefer to do my makeup and the way that it works for me is just leaving the T-zone very matte, but the outside of my face, that's where I'll go ahead and indulge in a little bit more glowiness. So this product's been perfect for that. All right, moving on to foundation. There's only one product that I can show here. It's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation. I am in the shade 430, and if you've been here long enough, you know that this is my foundation. I will be trying out more foundations from the drugstore soon, but for now, she's my buddy, she's my friend. I love the finish to this foundation. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy, it's perfectly in the middle with the right amount of coverage. It's medium coverage, it's not too heavy. The finish to the skin is right where I want it, and I've been enjoying it for years. Don't worry worry. Like I said, I'll be expanding my horizons. I have been trying out different foundations. I do have other foundations that I'm enjoying that I have a little bit more of a long-lasting wear than this one does. Whenever I want more of a matte finish, I will go for those foundations. I have foundations where I don't really need powder to set them, but this is just a great one for everyday wear. I can use a little bit of this one with my liquid filter and it'll be like a nice light everyday kind of makeup. But when I want something more serious, then I have my foundation rotation for that. It's not full coverage though, but if you want it to be, it can be. It's really easy to build it up just by adding more, and it's not gonna get cakey on you. It's not too thick like other full coverage foundations are. All right, foundation's done. Now we're gonna move on to concealer, and the concealer that I can't live without and I keep reaching for is of course my L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour full wear full coverage concealer. I mentioned it in my Empties video because I just ran out of 2 of them. I bought it again. Same thing like with my foundation. I will expand my horizons and start trying out more different products. But for now, she does the work for me. It works super, super well. Like I've said before, there are some people that compare it to the Tarte Shape Tape. I would have to disagree. I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape, at least for me, it started to get too heavy and too matte and too drying for my under eyes. I wanted something with a little bit more creaminess, but with that same coverage power. And I feel like this product is it. If I want to use that concealer alone just to spot conceal, I am good to go and I don't need to wear any foundation. So the way that I've been using it on my everyday face routine is I will just do 1 dot, 2 dots, forehead, cupid's bow, and chin. I can't believe I used to be the 2016 girl that would do super big triangles on the face with concealer. I don't know what happened to me, but I feel like ever since the pandemic and when people started using less makeup because we were stuck at home, I feel like I went with the crowd a little bit and started just kind of like dialing it back in, using less product, but also using different kinds of products that weren't so full glam, full coverage. Times change, so do makeup trends. I'm sure the circle's gonna come back around to where we're back to 2016 times. I feel like we're already seeing it. So it's gonna go back to doing full makeup, full beats. But when it comes to my everyday makeup, this is what I'm doing right now. I remember I used to get up so early to get ready for work. We're talking like 5 in the morning to do a full beat, full face of makeup for work. And I know I'm not alone in this, but those times are gone. I now save those makeup looks for special occasions. All right, now we're gonna contour. I know I mentioned this product on my Empties video, but I'm trying to squeeze every little bit out of this product. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser. I've been using this one as a contour. I use the shade 148. I love how that shade looks on me for contour. It's not too cool and it's not too orange. It's just the perfect shade to bronze up my skin. I use it on the areas where I would normally bronze, on the sides of my cheeks, temples, a little bit on the eyes, to just kind of like serve as eyeshadow. We're not going to be doing eyeshadow in this video, but doing that, applying it on the lid area, on the outside lids, it kind of like fakes the look of eyeshadow. And I also use it, of course, on the sides of my nose to contour there too. And this is super easy to blend too, which who doesn't love that? It makes it so you can get ready faster. And when I'm blending my cheeks, I kind of like blend up just to make sure that the bronzer doesn't fall below here. So I'm kind of pulling up the bronzer higher, a little bit higher than I used to, just because I get annoyed whenever the bronzer falls too far down. And same thing with the nose contour. I pull it a little bit higher into the start of the brow, and just by doing that, it makes it seem like you're already wearing eyeshadow. Kind of saves you a step too. And then from there, once all of that's nice and blended, we're sticking to the cream products, and up next is liquid blush. I cannot stop using these. These are the SheGlam liquid blushes, and I have 2 shades here. I have Rose Ritual and Devoted. Devoted is the one that I use the most, so I'm gonna use that today. They're very similar shades, but Devoted has a little bit more of an orangey undertones, whereas Rose Ritual is a true rose. These are so good. They're so affordable. They have a cute little applicator. They were everywhere on TikTok for a second and I fell in love with them. I'll just do a few dots on the sides of my cheeks, blend it in, and it's just a beautiful wash of color. It's not too dramatic. I just love the amount of pigment that it has. And as you can tell, blush placement has also changed with the times. We're not doing blush on the apples of the cheeks anymore. We're going a little bit higher because we all want that lift to the face, especially if you have a round face like I do. So we just pull it a little bit high and we blend it in. And I pull it even to the eye almost, which is really funny. I just feel like we brought this back from the 80s and we're all just like obsessed with blush all over again and having very pink cheeks. I don't know if one day we're gonna look back at this and be like, put the blush down. I'm sure we will, but for now, let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it while we have it. So as you can see, like the pigment, it just blends into your makeup. It's not too exaggerated. I just love that it blends to this tone and this amount of tone. If you want to bring it a little bit closer to the bridge of the nose or on top of the nose, you can definitely do that just for like a more sun-kissed natural look. For now, I feel like I'm happy with this because this is what I would usually do for my everyday makeup. All right, and now we're all done with all of the creaminess, with all of the liquid products, the dewiness. Now let's set it in place. And the loose powder that I cannot stop reaching for, and I don't think I'll ever stop reaching for this one for a very long time. It's my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Fair Light. Again, I know that I mentioned it in my Empties video, but the theme of this video is products that I cannot stop reaching for, hence this one. It's such a good one for me. It just does what I want it to do. Like I mentioned earlier, the goal for me with my own makeup is to keep the center of my face mattified, that nose mattified, the sides of my nose where my pores are the largest, just keep that blurred, and then keep everything else just very light and more skin-like. This powder is great for that and for whenever I want my makeup to last for a very long time. I love how smooth and filter-like it leaves the skin. I just take it with my sponge. I do not bake. I just pat it slightly on my under eyes, again on the sides of my nose, chin, and forehead. If I feel like it's too much on one side, I'll just pat the excess on the other side. I even pat whatever's left on the sponge on the lid just to mattify that, and then just go back in and start adding a little bit on the forehead, on the sides of the mouth too, just for those smile lines, on top of the nose with whatever's left on the sponge, and on the chin. And then with whatever powder's left on the sponge, any just excess, we're gonna tap it on the rest of the skin just to allow a little bit of that luminosity to peek through. But what you're losing is a little bit of that tackiness because we're gonna go with powders on top. So you want those powders to apply smoothly. So you're kind of like getting rid of that extra tackiness to allow those powders to just glide easier. All right, up next is powder bronzer. So we laid down the cream bronzer. Now we're setting it with a powdered bronzer. And the one that I can't stop reaching for is the Fenty Beauty Stalk'r Instant Warmth Bronzer. I am in the shade Private Island. And this shade is just super, super pretty. I feel like it looks very summer-like. Very naturally bronzed. It's a shade that's worked great for me. As you can see, I've already hit pan and I'm sure it's gonna be part of my empties sometime soon. Same thing, we're gonna go on the areas where we usually bronze, on the temples, sides of the cheeks, and we're going on top of the nose. That's as much of nose contouring, quote unquote, we're gonna do. And we're gonna go on top of the lids a little bit too. Again, just kind of faking the look of eyeshadow without doing it. Again, I remember me waking up at 5 in the morning to do eyeshadow, like a whole eyeshadow look for work. I don't have the time anymore, the energy. So this is what I do to kind of like add some color to the lids without having to do all that. This bronzer just blends really nice. It's not too cool of a color. I'm really enjoying this one. I literally will go like this on the lids. And that's all the eyeshadow I will do. And then I'll go on the jawline and down the neck a little bit just to add some color. And then on the sides of the nose, I'm sure I can do this with my eyes closed. I just go like this on the lids. And it's just become so easy. like that. And then after that, my favorite step, blush. And I've actually gone back to an oldie but a goodie. I don't think they sell this specific kind of blush anymore, but it might be that they just changed the packaging. So I'm gonna look around and I'll find something very similar. But this is the Milani Cosmetic Powder Blush in the shade Tea Rose. It's the one that had this really pretty like rose imprint on the packaging. It's all blurred out already. I've been using it, reaching for it. I love how soft of a color this is. It's just really pretty and soft. It doesn't pack too much pigment where it's just like impossible to blend out. So that's why I've been loving this one. Same thing, I'm gonna apply it to the area where I applied my liquid blush and just go on top of that to set that in place and bring back some of the color from the liquid blush. And I stipple the blush instead of swiping just so that it adds a little bit more pigment. Don't worry if it gets to be too much. You can always go back with your beauty blender and just take some of the color out. And of course, the point of going in with powder on top of your creams and liquids is that the more that you wear your makeup, the more the powders are gonna melt into the skin and they're gonna diffuse, and the liquid products are just gonna peek through. It makes it so that the makeup wears and stays for longer instead of just washing away. I feel like using powders alone, that's exactly what's gonna happen. The colors are gonna become less saturated. So that's the point of doing liquids and creams first and then setting them with powder for longevity and for saturation, that color saturation. And now we're gonna take a moment because I have something to confess. I haven't reached for highlighter in a long time. If I do, I will do a liquid highlighter underneath the foundation, kind of like what I do with this, or I'll only use highlighter on the inner corners of the eye and on the brow bone. But I haven't reached for a highlighter to use on my cheeks for a very long time. And that's because I feel like this just gives enough of the glow that I want without it being too, oh my gosh, artificial like it used to look back then. And that's crazy for me to say because I loved highlighter. I feel like the love that I have for blush now is the love that I used to have for highlighter. I do use it sometimes. For example, like for my baby shower, I used it all over my décolletage just for that like glowy look. But when it comes to the cheeks, I only used this and a little bit of liquid highlighter underneath, and that's it. But taking a brush and doing like the highlighter on the cheeks, I haven't done that in a while. Isn't that crazy how times change? Again, I feel like the circle of makeup trends is gonna come back and we're gonna be doing highlighter again, but I haven't done it in a while, so it's not gonna be part of this video. Isn't that crazy? I feel like that's so crazy. We used to be obsessed with those glowing highlighters, and now it's like we're not doing that anymore. All right, so with that, my complexion is done. We're gonna move on to the brows, and you can say it with me. I'm gonna be using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil to fill in those brows. As usual, using fine line strokes. This is the brow pencil that I'm gonna be using for a long time. I've actually tried experimenting with brow gels, doing soap brows and all of that, but I feel like I just can't do it. If you have any tips for me, let me know in the comments below. But when it comes to soap brows, bushy brows, I feel like I just can't figure them out. I end up having like little gel residue all over my brows, and I don't like that. And I've been trying different techniques. I've been trying different brow gels. I've been experimenting with that to stay up with the girls, with the trends, but it's just using a brow pencil does it for me every time. But I can keep trying. I'm not opposed to keep trying. All right, next up is mascara, and I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara. I love it so much. When I tried it out for the very first time, I was having a little bit of a hard time with it because it was too wet, too runny, too messy. But the more that I used it, the more it kind of like changed its formula to become better. And even though I'm not a huge fan of wands versus brushes, I really enjoyed this one. It just gives me the bold, separated, long lashes that I like. like they're not too chunky. If I want super chunky lashes, I will use a different mascara. But when I want just to accentuate my lashes and make them like really pretty and flirty for everyday wear, I will use this one. I don't know if I'm the only one here, but lashes take me a long time. I feel like it takes me longer than a lot of the other steps. My lashes just have to be like right. Just like that, lashes are done. And the next step is gonna be lips. And this is the lip gloss that I cannot stop reaching for. These are the NYX Fat Oil Lip Drips. And I switch between the shades Scrollin' and Follow Back. I bought these two specifically because I've been wanting to do, and I still wanna do soon, hopefully soon, a Sabrina Carpenter makeup tutorial. And I saw a video mentioning that she wears a color very similar to this one. So I bought them and I've been using them non-stop. They smell like candy. The formula is thick but not sticky. Follow Back, it's a little bit less pigmented, but it has more glitter to it. So it's more of a lip topper instead of a legit lip gloss. Whereas the other one, Scrollin', this one has more pigment. It doesn't have any glitter to it. So this is the one that I'll actually use more often. It's just a really pretty nude. I feel like it goes really well with like a bronze face. It's just a really easy, natural, easy to wear, effortless color. I love the texture. It's not sticky, just a beautiful shiny lip. I've been really into glossy lips, I feel like in the past year or so, and this is a really great one. And then to set the entire face in place, our setting spray. And I'm gonna be using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist because I can't stop reaching for it. I can't stop buying it over and over again. It falls perfectly in the middle with what I want with setting spray. I want my setting sprays to make my makeup last a long time and to make my skin pretty. It doesn't make my skin feel sticky. It doesn't make it look too shiny. It's not too drying. It doesn't burn my skin like other setting sprays have. I love that it's an aerosol spritz. It smells lovely and it's a great price too. So I love it through and through. And with the makeup set in place, this is the final look. These are the products that I cannot stop reaching for and using and buying over and over again. I know it's a little bit repetitive from my Empties video, but these are truly my ride or dies. And I did sprinkle a little bit of new products that I hadn't mentioned in my channel before. I really hope you guys liked this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like this video and subscribe before you leave. I'd love to have you. If you have any suggestions for future videos, don't forget to leave those in the comment section below. If any of your favorite products are in here, let me know also in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care, and hopefully I will see you right here on my next video. Bye guys.